Hello, lovely people. Welcome to the channel. It's Rad. And tonight we're going to check into the upcoming week, which is going to be about the time frame of 11th to 17th of December. And the first thing, as usual, that I'm going to do, it's the collective reading. Quite a weird one, though. You can see the cards, the thumbnail, but I'm going to show them to you anyway. So the cards I drew about the week, the collective about the week, a few hours ago are as follow. Now, the first one, we have the Nine of Swords, and then that card is influenced by the Page of Swords here from one side, okay? And from the other side, it is influenced by the Eight of Cups that we have. And it's quite of a weird, I don't know even how to classify influence, maybe, that we're going to face throughout the week, at least according to these cards. Now, the Nine of Swords and the Page of Swords, they can be looked in a few ways, okay? They can be interpreted in a few ways. And the most poignant and maybe also a negative way that they can be interpreted, is that throughout the week there will be a situation we're going to feel threatened about. A person that's through a very carefully and clever way of wording their sentence is going to pass out a threat, or an entity, you know, same way, through a very careful wording and just conveying information, is going to pass out a threat. And that's gonna seriously scare us with the Nine of Swords there. I mean, when we think about it, what could happen should that threat be carried on, the consequences will scare us from that whole thing. Now, that's one way how we can look at the Nine of Swords being influenced by the Page of Swords. The other way how we can look at it, it is through something that's gonna come up to our mind. For some could be idea, for others it could be solution, but bottom line is that this is gonna be a super unique thought, something we haven't thought about up until now. And again, this thing is going to involve consequences that we would rather not face. And that will be the case should those of us that are scared, for example, losing the business we have, or losing the job we have, or losing a friend, or in generally the losses involved, should that be the influence of those couple of cards. And that original thought is going to relate to this sense of loss, so to speak, maybe mitigating it in a certain way, or maybe, you know, salvaging the situation should the loss take place. Again, it could be involving losing the job, losing the relationship and whatnot. And that Eight of Cups, in all of the cases which influences the Eight of Swords, it kind of puts additional salt and pepper to the situation that we wouldn't be able to kind of like see past these negative circumstances, and see that, you know, even if they kind of happen, future still holds a great things for us. The future still holds better perspectives, but it's going to be very, very hard to kind of like see through it. Not impossible, but again, it will take some mental clarity and mental strength, so to speak. So the week is not going to be the most pleasant one. And the last way how we can see this is a help that will be offered, quite unexpected, and we're going to be scared what this is going to cost us. Now, on paper, it will feel like, or it will seem like nothing is going to, there will be no bill to that help, but we're going to feel that there will be a cost to it, whether a moral cost, emotional cost, material cost. And we're going to be right to be afraid of that. And whether we should take that help or not, well, that is entirely up to us to decide. So that was the collective reading, not one of the most positive ones that I have done, but again, it is what it is. And now a few notes about the show before I move forward. There are going to be 12 more readings, one for each star sign. I'm going to start, or I'm going to carry on with the ecliptic, meaning starting with Aries, and I'm going to end up with Pisces. And bear in mind that these are a star sign readings and not your personal readings. Therefore, take them as more of a guidance rather than a direct answer to a question, based on, you know, which star signs are prominent in your natal chart. If you do wish me to read for your personal situations, you can go to my website, which link you will find in the description down below. And there on the very front page, you can see full list of my services and as well their pricing. And if you do decide to support the show, either via Super Chat or via PayPal, which link you will find in the description down below, you're going to have a reading at the end of the stream. That's guaranteed. Just like Yasmin with a $20 PayPal. Thank you, Yasmin, and Taco with the $22.22 Super Chat. Thank you, Taco, are going to have at the end of the stream. Let me put you into a list, Taco. And Nancy as well. Thank you, Nancy, for the $20. Thank you. At the end of the stream, you're also going to have your personalized reading about the week. Okay, so without further ado, first star sign that I'm going to read about, that's going to be Aries. You can track which star sign I'm reading for by the glyph being displayed on my right hand side here. I have a commission for new glyphs, personal, kind of like unique glyphs rather. So hopefully they're going to be done shortly, because I kind of like grew bored from those stock glyphs that I'm using. All right, first star sign, Aries. Let's see what kind of a week you're going to have. First card, that will be the Sun. Influenced from one side by the High Priestess, and it is influenced from the other side by the Lovers. Well, I'm glad having you around, Nancy. So this is the elemental dignity for you, Aries, those 3 cards. And it does look like that this week is gonna call for you to make some kind of a stir, so to speak, or some kind of a move. It will involve a choice, because the situation you're gonna find yourself in, whether in your intimate life or whether into your career development, will tolerate no delay, will tolerate no passiveness. What was the other word that I was searching for? Well, yeah, it's passiveness. I can't find it right now. Sorry about that, guys. But this push actually is going to activate a lot of harmony that you will experience, whether in your intimate life or whether into your career and natural development. In fact, this push is going to unlock, so to speak, an expanding energies of growth for you guys. And as an expectation, this is very specific, but still you can expect some monetary gains. You can expect some bigger openings for you to do better as it comes to career, and also problem solving as well. If you're facing certain problems into your career, that push for you to make a decision or to make a move here is going to resolve those problems. And in terms of romance, well, needless to say here, we have more than just a harmony. We do have a mutual happiness. Okay, so it's very likely that you may find a person that will want to make you happy. Hopefully you will want to do the same. Moving next. Oops, that will be Taurus. Three of Cups. Then it is the Knight of Wands. And the third card we have, that's going to be the World. So this is what we got here. Okay, those three cards. And first and foremost, that's going to be a week where you're going to clear the ground and settle up disputes, settle up. I don't even want to call them disagreements, but it's kind of like getting on the same page with certain individuals. Could be your coworkers, could be your friends, or a significant one. It could be anyone. And also, what's additionally this week is going to carry on for you is results. Initial results about should you have started something recently, a few days ago, or a couple of weeks ago. That is something very, very recently started, and you can expect again that you are going to start reaping the very first results, which is going to be a confirmation for you that you are actually on the right track with what you have decided to move and to do forward. And that Knight of Wands next to the Three of Cups, it is just an influence that is going to make you not unwanting, but convinced that for now you do have enough and you don't need to kind of like seek a new enterprises because your current ones are simply bearing fruits. Whatever emotions you do have toward one thing or another, or toward one person or another, are very, very likely to be reciprocated should they be genuine. Okay, next, Gemini. For Aries, the word that I was searching for was idleness. Now it just came to my mind now. Being idle. Page of Pentacles for Gemini. Influenced from one side with the Ten of Pentacles. And from the other, that's going to be the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so a couple of things which are very specific. Now, first one, Page of Pentacles with the Knight of Pentacles. That is very likely, or gives a huge chance things to work out with exes, or with a people that's previously you just couldn't start a relationship for a reasons, and the reasons weren't because you didn't want it to, but for example you had to travel somewhere and live somewhere else, or they had a too much of a problems right now to kind of like carry on with a relationship. But now throughout the week, it's very likely that this mutual kind of like a connection could transcend into a commitment and into devotion, but it's going to happen it's going to start happening rather very, very slowly. So you shouldn't be impatient here, but rather take your time and give the man or the woman a chance. And the other thing about these cards is that throughout this week, you Gemini is very likely to find a thing that it is worth it. That could be a job that it is worth it, a person that it is worth it, a project that it is worth it, a hobby that it is worth it, maybe classes that are worth it, something that it is worth it by your standards. And it does look like that you are going to give it all you got. And it's quite, how can I put it into words? It's quite independent, because its development, its success will not be influenced by outwardly influences, meaning that no one can screw it up for you, or it's highly unlikely that you are gonna be deprived or bereft of resources to keep on moving forward with it. So if nothing else, in that week you will find a very, very huge devotion that you will be very pleased to carry on with moving forward. Okay, next, Cancer. Five of Swords, Three of Swords, Page of Wands. It's a pretty short one. That week, you will be triggered, most likely through a very negative comment about yourself. For example, a comment you suck, a comment you're not good enough, okay? Some kind of a really sharp and spiteful, straight away, a comment. You will be triggered, and this trigger actually is going to make you realize how strong you are in reality, and that, you know, at that particular stage in your life, there is nothing you cannot do, and you will start doing. These cards are more of a guidance than a fortune telling here. And yeah, when this trigger happened, basically whatever goal you set can't be accomplished by you if you are tenacious and as well ruthless enough. And this is where actually the guidance takes place, because every person has its boundaries, okay? Every person has its limits, the limits of the resources they can use, the limits of how far they can stretch and cross certain people or certain situations. And the guidance here is do not overextend those limits, because the price of that will be the very least a humiliation or a loss bigger than what you actually are going to gain. Because the question isn't, am I going to gain something when this trigger happens and I actually stop caring about anything? You will gain, okay? But it's, if you do not stop yourself on time and you become way too reckless, you will pay bigger price from a different source, if I may explain that way. For example, you may gain a lot into your career, but the price you pay in your relationship and in your love life could be devastating. Just for example here. Okay, that was Cancer. Next, Leo. Three of Swords, Page of Wands, Eight of Pentacles. Give me a minute. Three of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles, it's neglect. It's neglect due negative thoughts, or can I put it into words? Negativity. That is when, you know, you are so negative about one thing or another, seeing it from the dark side rather than from the bright side, that you are actually missing the point. And that will be a prominence, but not a mandatory. It will be something you will be prominent for, you're going to have an affinity for in that week, but it doesn't mean that you can carry on with it. Okay? So what is important here? Well, first, give things a chance. People a chance. That is why we do have that Page of Wands there. You gotta be open for everything new that comes your way. New suggestions, new ideas, new people to go out with, okay? New friends to make, new loves to explore, new projects to develop. And once you are open for everything new, then these negative thoughts, the dark side of things, little by little are going to start giving way to the bright side of things, which is exactly what you need. And the reason why you may start seeing things from the bright side, from the dark side right away, it is because they are going to be similar, but not exactly, not the same thing, but very similar. There is going to be a resemblance with similar situations from the past that didn't turn out very well. And no one can kind of like blame you that first you look at skeptically, you know, you're skeptical about the development. But actually, the development will be, at least according to these cards, worth exploring. Okay, next, Virgo. You're welcome, Living Girl. King of Swords, influenced from one side by the Five of Pentacles, and from the other side is Three of Pentacles. Okay, so this will be the week where you will understand one way or another. Some will understand through situation, others will understand because they do see it, okay? But you will understand that so-called experts you are relying on currently, actually some of them, or maybe most of them, or maybe all of them, don't know what they're doing. Bottom line is here is that you are going to see that the problems you are facing, wherever you are relying on experts, are actually problems you can solve by yourself. I mean, you do not need certain support here. In fact, that certain support, actually, it is the thing that leaches out certain resources you do have, and above everything else is giving you a false hope, so to speak. And so it's very likely that throughout the week you're going to take matters in your own hands and brainstorm the thing, because that's what the King of Swords does. It brainstorms the thing, finds the productive and the effective, rather, strategy, and moves through difficulties and resolves them. So you can expect to resolve almost all of your personal issues and almost all of your personal problems here without breaking a sweat and without needing anyone that you will have to pay in a certain way later. Hello, Rocky. Welcome to the stream. All right, Libra. Thank you, Rocky, for the 28 Canadian. Thank you. The end of the stream, you're going to have your personalized reading and put you into a list. Six of Pentacles. Influenced from one side by the Chariot, and from the other by the Strength. It's a sweet spot with these three cards. It's a sweet spot that you will end up in throughout the week. Sweet spot to confess your love, sweet spot to confess your interest, sweet spot to act in a certain way. But this is the sweet spot where you can fulfill a certain wishes. Now, I cannot say that these are going to be grand wishes. You know, people wish to be rich, wish to live happily ever after and whatnot. But we do have these wishes. For example, we wish that it was different. We wish that it was better. You know, we wish to have a more of a joyful day-to-day routine, you know, these wishes that depend on us. And we're going to find, you, Libra, are going to find the sweet spot to do so. And although at that time, when you do find that sweet spot, it will feel like you are facing an overwhelming odds. Another thing is going to nag into your mind that it is now or never, and it is you or no one. What I mean is that with this Six of Pentacles and that Chariot, no one else can do it for you. No one else can express what you feel. No one else can show what you can do, okay? No one else can have your presence. And so the situation will require that you and you alone act upon the wishes you do have. And what will be difficult to find, but not impossible, it is a guts and enthusiasm to do so. So at the point where you are trying to make up an excuse for yourself not to act, well, that is the sweet spot, and you have to act, or you should rather act according to these cards. And once you do so and you see the results, you will feel damn proud of yourself. So it will be a really nice week. It's a week of a breakthrough. Hopefully it's going to be a huge one for every single one of you. All right, so next, Scorpio. Three of Cups. Four of Pentacles. Ooh, the Moon. Wait, that's for Scorpio? What do you know? So Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Rising, the king of the week, I guess. Oh. You can say I couldn't even believe it. It is what we have as a Scorpio. Right, that is establishing the future with someone. And I mean really, really good future. A future with your husband, a future with your life, a future with your business partner. But it is basically establishing the future, a positive, a productive, and gainful future with someone. And if there is that term, I am meant to be with this person, I'm meant to do business with this person, or meant to be in a relationship with this person, that it is. Okay, it is this thing that we do have here. So I guess we're gonna stumble or finally clear out how we stand with a super significant individual for us. And on a personal level, that's going to be the week where we are going to realize, see, and find it difficult to believe, but still it will be irrevocable here, that it is working out and is going to work out. I don't know what is going to be different for every single one of us, but it is working out. I know what it is going to be for me, because I have planned it for a very, very long time, and it is initiating this week. But we're going to see that it is working out. All right, next, Sagittarius. Ten of Pentacles. I I knew it's gonna be this one. Seven of Swords. The Strength. I just knew it's gonna be this one. It's equal terms, Sagittarius. or rather I would say affair terms. So should that be a week where you plan to mortgage out a house? Fair terms. If that's a week where you plan starting a job, you're going to start on a fair terms, making a deal on a fair terms, making a negotiation on a fair terms. So this is going to be a week where, again, you will end up on a fair terms with everything you face. And although it will involve other entities, other people, you still are going to maintain your independence, so you can leave at any time you wish. And this will create such a comfort for you that you wouldn't believe even it exists. And this undertaking that you are starting on a fair terms will be classified for you, the very least, of one of the most senseful, so to speak, investment you have ever done. So, and another thing that this energy carries is righting the wrong. So if you have been done wrong recently, okay, yeah, like for example, from a coworker or from a boss you're working with, now this is going to change. And the balance is going to take over, and you will end up on a fair terms with them. After they pay, of course, for what they did. So that's the week for you. It does look like a normalizing or normalization of your experience in day-to-day routine. Next, Capricorn. Queen of Cups. Two of Wands. The Hermit. Okay, that's a stop sign. We have this week. I don't know if it's gonna be through you seeing that something is wrong, or you feel that something is wrong, but at certain point it will be super obvious for you, and just only for you, that you have to stop about a certain development. Maybe the development of a certain project, or maybe development of a certain friendship. It could be development as well of a certain relationship. But you will come up to a personal conclusion that you have to stop now. Why? Well, because if you move forward with it, it's not going to develop the way that it is important for you. It may be important for someone else, your spouse, your boss, of course your boss, you know, it's always have to be important for them. The friend you are going through with that undertaking, but not for you, if something doesn't change in it. If the plan doesn't change, okay, or if the direction, most likely the direction of development doesn't change. And so you can expect to withdraw for a while, okay? You stop being a part of it just for a few days to identify what's going to be the best way, how that thing can move forward. And for some of you, the other party is going to bail out when they hear what you actually want to do from here on moving forward. And the only explanation you're going to have why is because the results you are having right now, they may be great for the other party, but they do not suit you. They just don't work for you. And that will determine whether this undertaking is going to carry on forward or not. But if it doesn't, just if it doesn't, it's going to be okay for you, because they're going to be the next best thing to it that you can focus on and devote yourself into. And that's going to be the end of the light at the end of the tunnel for you. And it is very likely that throughout this week, Capricorn, now that I look at the cards, you'll finalize, or kind of like being able to clear out what you actually feel about one thing or another, or about one person or another. All right, Aquarius. Five of Swords. Influenced from one side by the King of Wands, and from the other by the King of Cups. So this is what we have here. Okay? These three cards, the elements of dignity. You will receive a proposal. You will receive an offer throughout the week, some kind of. Some of you will receive romantic offer, others, business offer, whatever the case, but it's going to be offer. It could be also offering a helping hand. The problem is going to be that your interests are going to lie elsewhere. And the guidance of the cards here, it is to chase your interests and do not get yourself being beguiled by this offer, because this offer, it is a beguiling attempt. Maybe not intentional, but nonetheless, that is going to be that's going to be the result. Another thing it is that this week, most of the people people that you associate yourself with, you will find a bit moody. It's kind of like that they do not radiate fun. They do not radiate mirth through them. And more often than not, you're going to find the need to actually have some fun. So just because, the people you currently know don't want to have fun, that should not stop you. That is another thing within the cards. And at the end of the day, remember here, Aquarius, or is going to be made known to you in one way or another, that you at the end of the day do have a ambition, and nothing should stop you fulfilling that ambition. In fact, that is the week where you actually have to transform the wishful thinking of that ambition into a rather powerful drive. Okay, and last but not least, that will be Pisces. King of Pentacles. Influenced from one side by the King of Wands, and from the other side by the Seven of Swords. Here. And these are not good cards as they stand like this. What they show, it is that something is going to be short. Something is going to come up short. You are going to come up short with something. And the reason for it is going to be because you are not allowed to have it. For example, you want to renovate your house, but your partner doesn't want to come up with enough money for it, so you come up short with the money to get that renovation at your house completed. That is just for an example here, but it does look like that investment you need, and that is investment from outside, investment from a bank, investment from a friend, investment from a, again, significant one, or from a family. Doesn't look like that is gonna come up on time. Why? Well, because it was already spent on something else. That's, at least according to these cards, that's the truth here. And you're gonna find yourself short on resources to get that thing you want done, at least throughout that week. That doesn't have to be, the case next week or next month and whatnot, but just is gonna be an irritating situation where you relied on that and it just didn't came. You relied on these resources and they just didn't came about. Hello, Diana. Welcome to the stream. All right, guys. So that was for the 12th. And now the super chat reading. Readings. So anyone who supported and decide to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you are going to have a reading, personalized reading right about now. And the first one we have, that will be Yasmin. So let's check on your week, Yasmin, and what kind of a week you're going to have. Let me check on, do you have a specific inquiry here? No, you don't. Okay. Hello, Lorna. All right, Yasmin. This is just a possibility, okay? It is just a possibility for the cards because the subject at hand does involve your physique and your health. These are the cards, okay? Don't freak out, but if you do have the ability to do so, you may end up pregnant this week. Just find out the news. When it happened, I don't know, but you may find out the news that you're pregnant. Should that not be the case, then the week contains for you a confirmation, right? A confirmation that you are ready. You are ready to proceed with the development you have planned and prepared for a very, very long time. And there are no details that have been left unchecked or unturned. And in fact, I think that you are also going to be accoladed for your efforts. And because you have attended to everything with conscientiousness. I don't know what they're referring to, but this is going to be a confirmation, again, most likely received through an email or through a text message. So that is the most important thing that carries on for you throughout the week. Other than that, the week is going to be super good because you will know exactly where you will need to put your efforts in so you feel sound and secure. And in fact, this is a week where you will secure your domain. All right. Next, let me put the list on. Taco. Hmm. Those are your cards, mate. And through a multiple phone calls, it will come to your understanding throughout this week that you don't have much of a choice. I mean, the situation is already locked, is already predetermined to move forward in a certain way. I don't know what kind of a situation we're talking about here, but it's like any option that you may have considered is locked out. Okay. And you ain't going to be happy about that at all. In fact, the first thing that you're going to think of is, oh my God, what have I done? And you did nothing wrong. In fact, things are about to turn out the way they are supposed to turn out. So that's a week where if you have strayed out of your path, you are going to be readjusted into it. Because when we do have the moon card as a prime card, that card signifies that you are on the path you are meant to walk, whether you like it or whether not. And because the Five of Cups is next to it, yeah, it may feel quite disappointing right now, but it's all gonna turn out for the better. So watch out for those phone calls, and just, you know, don't, how can I put it into words? Don't waste your time into trying to change the course of events, because it doesn't look like, at least according to these cards, that that is an option at all, even if given so by the other side. It is, well, it's not going to be clarity, Taco, because at the start, again, you are going to be confused and your fantasy is going to run wild that you have screwed up. So that's not a clarity. The clarity is going to come after, when you realize that actually you did the best you could, and the choices you made were, little by little, they are starting to become more and more right, for the lack of better expression. So just my point here, and my appeal to you, is don't freak out at the start when you realize that, you know, the options you thought of are not available anymore. All right, next, Nancy. All right, Nancy, those are cards you have. So it's also a phone call for you that you are going to get throughout the week. It's either through a woman you are working with, or this phone call is going to be by a woman you are working with, or just a woman. But if it's just a woman, it's a liar. Okay, so if it is just a woman, that is a deceiver. And the phone call is going to be about either an inability to act the way you want to, or a warning that you shouldn't do what you are planning to do. Either way, okay? And obviously, if it is your coworker, then they speak the truth, so it is better to hold down your horses. If it is the other way around, then obviously the other person is kind of scared that they're going to run out of option if you do what you plan to do. But bottom line here is because we do have the Six of Pentacles in the very first position, especially with the Knight of Swords being next to it, kind of like, first of all, with these two cards, no one will be able to clear out the situation for you. Why, for example, you can't move forward with your plans, or you know, why, for example, you shouldn't do what you plan to do and whatnot, or why you should. And the other thing with these two cards is that at the first, when you do have that phone call, at first you may struggle figuring out how to move forward in generally, what to do about what you heard there. So it's going to be important to take your time, because with the Queen of Wands next to the Six of Pentacles, little by little the will to prevail is going to start retaking ground, and at some point you're going to figure out the best move going forward, because what you do not realize is that you do have a astute awareness in the weaknesses and the strengths of the situation that you just talked about on the phone with this person. Okay, and last but not least, Rocky. You're welcome, Nancy. Okay, so those are your cards here. I think that this is a harmless situation that is going to be the lead to your week, and it's about people you know that is going to come around and ask you for money. Okay, they're just going to come around, ask you, can you help me with that? I need money for this. It could be as well from your family and whatnot. And it pains me to say it, but you are going to feel compelled to oblige, because that's how you thought them to. Yeah, that's just how you thought them to. But your, can I put it into words, resourceful prowess is going to attract those from your environment to ask you for resources, most likely for money. And again, you're going to find it very difficult to decline. On a personal level for you, Rocky, this week, there are going to be, how can I put it into words here? This week, you will come up with a really good options available that you would like to take. The problem that stands of taking those options available, it is that they are incompatible with your lifestyle. And so in order to take those options available, which by the way are going to widen your world, right? They're going to widen, for example, your social environment. They're going to widen, I don't know, the day-to-day routine. They're going to widen the versatilities you can take advantage of, the enterprising events and whatnot. But first, you will have to change a certain part of your lifestyle if you do want to make them compatible with your day-to-day routine. So it could be as well, and that is your choice, okay? It could be as well a week where you put a little effort to make a little transformation about yourself and have your day-to-day routine transcended. But again, these people are gonna ask for money because you thought them so, and just because you're gonna feel compelled to say yes, it doesn't mean that you have to. Maybe that's a week. Maybe by the way, that is the lifestyle that you will have to change. And this is why you cannot kind of like take those options available, because you're going to give those resources to other people. So maybe that's a week where you will have to learn to say no. Okay. Or it could be not for a loan, all right? It could be that people want to make a party and they're wanting you for a contribution for that party, although you do not even plan to go there, okay? And you kind of like feel compelled to attend and whatnot, which could be also a case. Okay, guys, so that's going to be for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much as well for your generosity, and we're going to see each other next time. Until then, bye.